Hey, I'm Randy.
And I'm Rhino.
We're on special location this week for a shoot.
We're going to be talking to Ask a Mechanic. Let's go inside and check them out. So Patrick, we want to come by, ask you some questions, get some information about the shop, and maybe go over some repair stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, I don't mind, but you're gonna have to earn your keep.
What?
Why don't we go in there? Yeah. Hey, nothing free.
You mean we gotta work?
Of course.
Well, let's go.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
All right.
Let's go.
Oh, this dude's good. He's got a K&N lifetime air filter, man. This can always be serviced. No reason to ever replace it.
Well, you know what we're gonna do? Why don't you take that K&N filter and let's go service it. Put it on the K&N servicing tray over here in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay. In this box, we have our K&N filter servicing tool, specially made.
That is.
I've been using this tool for 25 years. Dun, dun, dun. This is how we properly service K&N filters.
Rob, you see this thing?
Why do you have a mace? Why am I here right now? This.
Okay, here's how we properly service K&N filters.
You can sing. Oh!
How much was this filter?
I say he doesn't like K&N.
Yeah, I'm definitely down.
I think that's pretty well serviced.
So, hey, mental note to self. Don't bring your K&N filter to Patrick, okay? Just don't do that. This is real. Hey, don't think that this is plastic. This is real. This is no joke. Like, I think he robbed frickin' Excalibur's cave to get this dang thing. This is real. It's like heavy.
What's that place called where everybody goes to watch the like Knights joust and stuff?
Are you
like
talking about the Adam and Eve store on Skybow Road? No, the medieval times.
Yes, that's
He
it.
brought the medieval times. His knight didn't win, so he kicked his ass and stole his mace.
I don't have the box that filter.
All right, he's back, all right.
So, Patrick,
Yes.
I noticed the hatred for K&N filters there, and apparently they're not really good. So,
And I can show you why in a little bit.
oh, I believe you, sir.
Other than I just don't like them.
I believe you. I don't want to get hit with a mace.
Okay.
So, what kind of filter is this, and what's a good one to put in your bike then?
Well, you know, OEM filters are the best filters. But there's other brands that are comparable. One of them is High Flow Filter. Wow, that's so hard to say. Say that 100 times. High
Flow filters.
High Flow
All right.
Filter. So, K&N, High Flow.
The Happy Bear. I like the Happy Bear. I like the Happy Bear.
So, you can just go ahead and slide that in. Make sure that it sits in evenly. And then when you put the bolts in, properly torque them in a crisscross pattern so that the filter goes down evenly and doesn't get all wonky.
Okay.
We don't want no wonky filters.
Wonky, wonky. I got so many bad things I can go off of that one, but I'll leave it alone. How about that?
Willy Wonka good, wonky
All right,
filters
so,
bad.
Patrick, while we got the tank up, it's got me thinking. One of our people asked, what's your take on the 89 versus 93, the octane?
Well, there's a measurement in engines called compression ratio. Okay, a higher compression engine needs a higher octane fuel to burn correctly, or you'll get what's called pre-detonation or spark knock. And that's detrimental to the engine because it creates little explosions instead of a clean burn inside the combustion chamber, which results in a higher engine temperature and lower performance. Higher compression engine needs a higher octane fuel so that it burns clean and you get more horsepower. Okay,
So-
and I'm not talking the difference in one or two. It can certainly make a huge difference. A lower octane fuel in a bike that requires a higher octane fuel will definitely run hotter, which robs horsepower. And if you hear your bike clink, 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 like spark knocking when you're accelerating, that's definitely a sign of low octane fuel. Most sport bikes require a higher octane fuel, like super unleaded. Some bikes, like let's say the Busa, they call for a lower octane fuel, but they can definitely benefit from a higher octane fuel. Some people ask me, well, my bike, I had carburetor problems or fuel injection problems because I used 87 in it. That's not the case. All the gas that we get at the gas pump now is equally as crappy because it comes with ethanol in it. Okay. Is it really bad for engines? Does it tear engines up? In carbureted bikes, it's way worse. In fuel-injected bikes that stay running all the time, it's not necessarily so bad. The ethanol creates a problem when you let your bike sit, which storage, that's something we can cover later. But, the actual quality of the fuel, 89 is no lesser of a quality fuel than, say, 93, except for performance.
So there you have it from the guy. Spend that extra 30, 40 cents. And also get it from a reputable place. Stop by a BP, stop by something that is a little more reputation than some hokey gas station. All right, so Patrick, you've had us change the oil filter and you showed us some damaging footage. One of the biggest one out there, and I know what happens, is what is the most overlooked item for me as the rider? When I bring it to you, you look at it, you're like, what is that number one thing that's always overlooked?
I would have to say the number one thing that's most overlooked on all motorcycles is that drive chain right there.
The drive chain.
The
Drive chain.
The most important.
Yeah, definitely. I get a lot of people come through here and that chain's never seen lube.
Wow.
And you should lube your chain about every 200 miles.
Well, we did do an episode, and we showed people how
that was
to
good.
clean and do the chain. So we're good at it, and we know the people on our crew are good at it, but I've definitely been out there on some rides, and I'm like, I can't tell
Dude,
if they even have a chain.
It looks completely rusted. Yeah.
And not only that, when they're driving, you can see it. It's almost like a radio wavelength. Whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
It is great.
Yeah.
So
the
it goes
chain.
along with that other video we did where the chain maintenance in that same episode where the guy's chain hopped off and locked up his rear wheel
Yep.
while he was going around a corner and crashed. I mean, that's
Yeah.
evident right there that chain maintenance is so important for a motorcycle.
It is.
I mean, anything on a motorcycle that goes wrong can be detrimental. I mean,
You're
you
already
have
handicapped right there riding a motorcycle,
Right.
let alone to ride something in poor mechanical condition.
Yeah.
You're just asking for trouble.
All right, so
For sure.
it's the chain, and you're
Yeah.
saying 200 miles.
About every 200 miles or more often if necessary.
And we're talking just regular brush, the brush and some Motul?
Well, what I use is, obviously you need some kind of swing arm stand like you guys covered in your video, how to lift the bike up, and you can clean it with a chain cleaner like Motul chain cleaner and a brush, and then wipe that off, and then when the chain's dry, the best thing to do is do it when your chain's hot. Clean it, take it out, ride it, get the chain warmed up, and then come back in and spray the lube on while your chain's hot. And the product that I like the most is chain wax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have, that's
Yeah,
the bottle
I
I
that
showed.
stuff.
That
Yep.
stuff right there.
Yep.
I like that the most because when you spray it on the chain's hot, it tacks up on the chain, it solidifies and it sucks it into the rollers and it stays there. And after you let it dry for 10, 15 minutes, it doesn't sling off.
Excellent.
It just doesn't come off. It just
Nice.
stays on there nice and good. You spray the side plates to keep them from rusting. And why would you want to lube your chain? Well, one, because of rust, if you don't keep the side plates covered, unless you have a powder coated side plate chain. But nevertheless, when you lube the chain, it keeps the chain from wearing out as quickly because it's metal to metal parts.
And
And they need to be
dry
lubed.
sprocket,
Yeah,
things like that.
they need
Yeah.
to be lubed. So, but what's the immediate downfall? Well, one, some people just care about cosmetics.
Right.
It gets rusty, it looks bad, okay? Okay, fine, give them that, okay? The rust comes off of the chain, gets all over the wheel, makes the wheel look bad, okay? Well, that's just cosmetic. But the real factor is that why they need to be lubed is because they'll wear out way quicker. They actually rob a lot of horsepower, a dry chain does.
Okay.
And it makes a lot of noise. I hear people ride down the road and it's like you hear the bike going, wow, wow, wow,
Yeah, I
wow,
hear it too.
wow. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, give that man a chain lube. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
Nice.
What is this?
The guy brought his bike in thinking it had a transmission problem. He called me up with I don't even remember what that was on. I want to say it wasn't a Busa, but
Is that a
yeah.
Frisbee?
yeah. He called me and says, hey man, how much you charge to do transmission repairs? And I'm like, well, why don't you bring it by and let me check it out first? I mean, do you absolutely know you need a transmission repair? Well, it's making a clunking, chunking noise and it's skipping around, and when I get on it, it kind of feels like it's slipping and popping out of gear. So he come by and I pulled it up in the shop and I was like, well man, you might have a transmission problem, but this chain and sprockets are so bad that you need these no matter what, whether you do a transmission job or not. So why don't we just start with changing the chain and sprockets, and then you ride your bike, and we'll see how it does. That might solve your problem. And ooh, it did.
Rob, did you see this thing?
Yeah, I think it's a good Toys R Us. I can't even believe that this was once a sprocket.
It was.
Like that this, a chain. So he drove it in like this.
Yeah, riding it. He actually rode it to that point.
Like, I can only imagine every takeoff at every light, if he gave it gas, he was doing nothing. Like, literally nothing. Now, maybe there's, like, if you can really, maybe he could get some grip at real low speed, like real low torque.
He had that thing so tight. I couldn't believe he probably took some links out of the chain to get that thing tightened down to where it actually had some tension to keep it on that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All right, people, do not buy aluminum chain drives. I mean, just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vortex steel sprockets are okay, but not their aluminum. They're just not. It's not a durable material to use for sprocket.
That is crazy.
Here's the sprocket that I took off a bike that probably had 15, 20,000 miles out of it. And
feel the good
steel sprocket.
weight.
Okay,
Feel
but
the weight difference
look at how
on
many
it.
teeth are left on it still. They don't really look that worn out, do they?
No.
No.
I mean, it was worn to the point where it needed to be replaced because it had some, irregular wear patterns in it. But you see the teeth are still rather intact.
No kidding.
And I've seen sport bikes with 30, 40,000 miles plus with original chain and sprockets on them and, still had teeth. The stuff was wore out, but it still had teeth. This sprocket right here, I've seen that a lot with 1,500 miles, 1,500 miles.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine. I mean, that's just that and safety alone. The chain jumps, and you never know. I mean, a chain could pop off, crack your engine case, catch your leg, cut your leg wide open.
Usually when a chain comes off, it normally causes engine case damage.
Yeah.
Normally.
Yeah.
Not every time, but majority of the time. The chain wraps around the front sprocket and goes in and breaks up the water pump, the casing around the sprocket shaft. That's if you don't crash your
Bad
bike.
news then.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's bad news no matter what.
What else would you like us to work on here? I mean, I see a burned up clutch here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that brings about something good.
Wow, look at this
What parts?
clutch, man.
What parts are good to buy and what parts are not good to buy?
Oh, definitely. That was one of, that was Corey Howard. He sent us that message. When buying parts, like what are parts not to buy. Also, like, I know that you have the eBay versus store or yourself.
Yeah.
The Chinese, the American made. So, tell us a bit about it.
Well, you really, that's what comes with experience, is knowing what to buy. I mean, there are so many choices. Go on eBay and type in chain and sprocket set for whatever bike you own. Okay? How many choices pop up? Or I need a voltage regulator for my 2006 Gixxer 750.
What I really find amazing is you can see, and they'll be like all different price, and then you go like cheapest, and for some reason, there's always a part for $5.
Yeah.
Always. Like, no matter what you're like, I need a new chain for my bike, $5. I'm like, ooh, that's a good quality product.
That's tempting. How bad could it be? For $5, I can afford
Apparently it's bad.
I can afford to buy 80 of them.
Apparently as bad as the Frisbee,
So
Detrimental.
So that's a great question, and that's something I have to justify to people when they bring their bikes in for a repair. Why is it going to cost so much money to fix my bike? Well, because I'm not going to sell you cheap parts for your bike. If I'm going to work on your bike, I'm going to put some good quality parts on it that are going to last you. I'm not going to say the lifetime of your bike, but maybe the lifetime that you own it, unless you just are trashing your bike. So how do you know what parts to buy?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, it's about experience. You got to know what to buy. If you don't know what to buy, the choices can be daunting. Typically, if you don't know, then ask someone that does. Ask someone with experience, what's a good part to buy? There's a reason why, let's say, an OEM part costs $200 and an aftermarket part costs $5. Right. You get what you pay for. Yeah. And not because everything costs more does it make it better. That's not always the case. But like in this case right here, this is a set of Barnett clutches. Okay, and if you look at them,
the pads are like completely taken off.
Yeah, see this? You got your aluminum. These are your fiber plates and your metal plates. The fiber plates are what create the friction to grip against the steel plates when everything's clamped together. Well, this bike come in, it wouldn't even move. And when I tore it apart, all of the fiber plates were broke off of the aluminum plate. And look, the material's even shiny. How good of a quality is that?
Yeah.
They're not even bonded on. And look, it's on more than one too. The whole clutch. Yeah, look.
They're falling
Yeah,
off
I
the
literally
floor.
had
Christmas,
They're falling all over
snowing,
the place.
snowing clutch fibers. So Barnett, cheap clutch parts. You get what you pay for. Now, our OEM clutch parts, the absolute best to buy. You can't go wrong with the OEM clutch parts. There's other parts that you can buy that are reasonable quality, like let's say EBC. The EBC SRK kits, they're pretty decent. I've installed a lot of them over the years, and they seem to hold up pretty decent, similar to OEM stuff, and they're a little bit cheaper.
For guys like us that ride, relatively hard on our bikes, what kind of clutch should we replace? What kind of clutch should we buy to replace?
Yeah. Well, I'm always going to steer people towards OEM parts because the OEM parts, they always fit. You'll rarely ever find any fitment problems with OEM parts, and the quality is unsurpassed. But a close second would be the EBC, like the SRK, the Kevlar clutch plates. They're durable. However, the springs are stiffer, and you're going to get a lot more hefty squeeze at the clutch lever. And on the take up, when you let the clutch out and it grips and goes, some of the clutches it can be a little grabby, and it's not quite as smooth.
Yeah.
To some people, that may not be a problem. You might be just you take off. Some people with a little feathery, on the clutch, they might not like that quick take up. So, in general, they grip well. They grip well, they hold up well, and they're durable. So,
All right. Nice.
Randy, I'm famous.
Go first.
Awesome.
I never get to go.
Totally famous.
Randy's place.
You got more likes than me or you?
Whatever.
I got more likes because I'm dead sexy.
It's Rhino.
hey man,
Oh Jesus!
when you're done watching these videos or sooner, are we going to do some work?
Yeah, we're back to work. All right, so Patrick, since I switched over to street bike, you've been there for me. You've been there for me on a Saturday. I've come in, you've done tires, you've done my services. I think you know my bike better than I do. So, because we're nationwide, we got a bunch of friends that watch us all over because just traveling and all that. What I found in you was the guy that I found easy to talk to, like we're here today. Easy to talk to, tell you the truth, tell you up front that you're messing up. How do you recommend people finding mechanic, say, out somewhere else that can't come see you in Fayetteville?
That's a tough question because a lot of shops you're going to go to are going to be bigger shops where you may not necessarily be able to talk to the mechanic. You can go and talk to the service manager, and he's going to be your front line. Certainly, that doesn't mean that's a bad thing, but if you want to build a relationship with a mechanic that's going to know your bike one-on-one, you're just going to have to get out and search and find some shops, talk to some people, and I'll tell you the best way to do that is get on the internet and look, Google reviews. Facebook pages, look at people's reviews. If people got bad reviews and do bad business, you will usually, I don't know what to do with that. I missed that.
As you were saying about reviews, like the internet. I know the internet, you get 4-star, 5-star on stuff like that. There's plenty of websites. I mean, there's just those ones that you fall apart. They seem great too. Like you meet them at bike night, and they're like, "Oh, I could do this for you, this for you, this for you," and then come to find out, you're like, "This is hokey."
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess what you're saying, hey, try them out, go see them, talk to them, see if they're.
Yeah, I mean, anytime when I look for something, the internet, that's where I go. I pull out my phone and I Google or whatever else search, say, motorcycle shop 28303 or whatever, wherever. Whatever I find, that's the first thing I'm gonna do is look at reviews and see if if there's 2 out of 5 stars and there's 30 reviews on there and everybody's saying bad, probably a good idea to stay away from them. Right. But if they got great reviews, people are saying great about them, read what the stuff says. But that doesn't mean people won't go in and leave bad reviews for a bad reason. Like somebody left a review on my Facebook page one time because I failed them on a state inspection because they didn't have baffles in their pipes. I had to fail them.
Right.
Man, but stuff like that, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt and look. That's the first place to start. But get in, ask people. Who works on your bike? Who takes care of your bike? Oh man, so-and-so takes care of my bike for me. I've been really happy. He's been honest. He's told me straight up front what it's going to cost me. They communicated with me. He called me and said, hey, here's what I found with your bike. Gave me a price up front, what he thought it would cost to fix the bike. It's that personal approach. That means a lot to me.
I'm very happy that I get you to call. I got your personal number. I don't know if we're supposed to give that out, but I got your personal number. I'm able to call you. It makes it very easy for me to have trust in you with my bike, even for long term. So thank you very much.
Sure, man.
All right, Patrick. So I have bought all my tires from you since I bought the 1000.
Yeah.
And as you can see, tons of tires. Yeah. So how fast of a turnaround can you get tires in here?
I try to keep a lot of stuff in stock, but there's so many different tires to choose
Right.
from. It's impossible to carry everything. So usually 1 to 2 days.
1 to 2 days.
1 to
So
2
I
days.
call you on Monday. By the weekend, I'm riding.
Oh, you call me on Monday, pay for the tires, and I'll have them in Wednesday and do them Wednesday or Thursday.
Excellent.
So yeah.
And the other one is, I mean, you got plenty of tires. So when should I be calling you? When should I be calling you for those new tires?
When do you need tires? Like when are they worn out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can look at the tread wear indicators as a partial idea. If you look down in the tire, you'll see the tread groove, and there's a little bump right there. Okay. Now this is off to the side. If you're wearing your tread wear indicators down over here, you're riding and you're cornering. But the usual place you'll find wear is down the center of the tire. Now, if you look at this tire, it's kind of bald down the center. There's no tread grooves down the center. So this tire is going to look like it's wore out before it really is. But down the center, like this tire, they don't really put tread wear indicators down the very center on a lot of tires. But once the tire gets worn to the point, well, obviously, if you see cords, it's beyond worn out.
Yeah, we got a buddy like that right
Yeah,
now.
it's
He
beyond worn out.
posted his tire on the Facebook page, and I was like, whoa! Like,
Yeah.
not only was there tread, but there was white. Like, you could see.
Yeah, that one, maybe you can see that a little better. Maybe
There
that
you go.
stands out a little better. You can get a good picture of that. Hey, yeah, right there in the center. See that one? That's like right in the main tread pattern. So in the main center, if you see that, where it's flush with the tread, the tire's worn down to the point where the groove is there, but the tread wear indicator runs flat, that's where it says time to replace the tire. And yeah, you could ride it farther, but that's the point where the tire starts to lose its grip abilities.
Yeah.
So, and it gets thinner and more susceptible to puncture. So,
Well, again, I mean, I've called you for all my tires. I know I just mentioned on the first time that I came to your garage, I had mentioned on Facebook, like, man, I'm going to miss the Saturday ride because I can't get in the new tires. And you literally posted, if you come see me, I'll do you Saturday morning. You came in Saturday morning and said, I got you covered. And that's all it took for trigger me. And you've been my guy ever since.
So Patrick, we've been going around your shop doing some work on things, and we have noticed a lot of worn out parts. And here's a worn out stator I see. And
how do you know this wore out?
it's charred, man. I mean, that's a good
it's pretty
indicator.
apparent, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a pretty good indicator that the stator's worn out. So, you were mentioning this part came from where?
That's a part of the charging kit that a guy bought on eBay. Bought a stator, a regulator, and a gasket set. Paid like $65 for everything. Yeah, pretty cheap. So he bought it, he put it on, another shop put it on. He brought the bike in about 3 or 4 days later. I got a charging system problem on my bike. I took it back to these people and they said there's nothing wrong with it. Long story short, he brought it to me. I diagnosed it. It had a bad stator. Brand new right out of the box. It was just a very short period of time. And, it had a money back guarantee, but he had to get it from China.
Yeah,
And he had to ship it back to China. It would have cost him $7,000 to ship that back to China. So what should you buy?
Not Chinese parts on eBay.
Yeah,
So-
it's just hit or miss on some of that stuff. Usually what I stick with is Ricky Stators.
I love Ricky stators. I use them on all my motocross bikes.
I do. I've been buying their stuff for years, and in general, over all the 20 plus years I've been working on bikes, I've only had to warranty a couple of their parts over the years, and that's a pretty good record. They took care of the stuff, shipped it to me. I have it in 2 days. This stuff, it fits good, it works right. You got any kind of problems, they'll take care of it. And the good thing about Rick Stators is you buy it from me or you buy it from a shop in California, Rick Stators are on to their stuff. Doesn't matter where you buy it. You keep your receipt, they'll warranty their parts no matter where you had it done.
That goes to show people right there. Buy your parts from the right people and see the right type of mechanics, and you don't have any worries about your motorcycle.
All right, so Patrick, we've had a great time with you. We really have.
great, man.
We
Yeah,
always
me too.
love coming by here talking with you. From episode 1, we wanted to come talk to you. We've been talking to you for 5 episodes, and it's just schedules and everything like that. I'm glad we were able to come together. I know we can find you on Facebook, Patrick Cycle Shop. I know that you're on the Facebook area, Street Bikes.
Yeah.
You're on the 910 Enthusiast. I see people posting in like, hey, does anybody know anything about this? And you're chiming in.
Yeah.
Or one of us are tagging you like, hey, Patrick, check this out. So I know we can find you on Facebook. Where else can we find you?
Google Motorcycle Shop Spring Lake.
Motorcycle
There I am.
Shop, Spring Lake, Google.
Cycle Shop.
And your phone number.
It's on there.
at the shop.
910-497-3686.
And he's right here in Spring Lake, right after you pass the new whole Merck connector. I know we all know the Merck connector. We love that. As you're coming through town, right there, right before the fork in the road at Walgreens, he's right in that area. Google him. Great guy. We love having him. And as always, check
We're the
out.
place with the big motorcycle on the roof.
There is a big motorcycle. How'd you get that up there?
Well, actually, it's a regular size motorcycle. It's not big.
Mm-hmm.
I carried that thing up piece by piece. I carried the wheel up, tied the wheel down, carried the forks up, put the forks on, carried the frame up, put
That's
the
a
frame
mechanic.
on. Yeah, piece by piece.
Tore the bike apart just to put up some advertising.
Put it up on the roof.
It works.
My wife gets upset because I don't want to put Christmas lights up. He's putting motorcycles up. So, again, check him out on Google. Check him out on Fayetteville Area Street Bikes, Motorcycle Enthusiast, all the local Facebook pages. And, of course, email us at randyandrhino@gmail.com. And YouTube, Facebook, Randy and Rhino Talk Twos. And like, share, and subscribe.
Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to comment.
Yeah, comments.
Yeah, we love your comments. We love your comments.
Yes, you gotta comment.
Patrick, thank you very much for having us.
great,
It's
man.
been a great
Thanks,
time.
man.
For
Appreciate
sure,
the
man.
time,
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to see you guys next time. You're one sexy motherfucker.